Okay. Okay. In today's session, like we are going to discuss about the architecture of Teamwork 7. Like as we are using IBM BPM for a standard edition, not advanced edition. So like in IBM BPM standard edition, like we are following the same architecture, yeah, which is used from Teamwork 7 till from Teamwork 7 to 8.5, IBM BPM 8.5. The process designer would be the same. Of course, there are like various changes came in place of life, like UI part and new features has been added. But the architecture wise, from Teamwork 7 to IBM BPM 8.5, like all the components are same. Okay. Now this is the architecture of IBM BPM. Okay, even if you consider it as like Teamwork 7 or IBM BPM 8.5. Okay. So these are the like components you can see. Suppose if you see the advanced edition architecture, why? Because our IBM BPM will be available in three versions: Express Edition, Standard Edition, and Advanced Edition. If it is an Advanced Edition, you can see an extra box here like Advanced Edition, which is connected to your process center. Only that was the difference. Remaining
Uh,
everything will be
Sorry,
the same.
because
Now,
I'm not able to. Hello.
yeah, Vivek.
Uh, I think you have. Can you make a presenter again? Because I'm not able to click this one, record one. Saying it's already been recorded.
Oh, okay, okay, fine. Actually, I make presenter as some textlet. There is two users, no? Mm,
Can you try again?
yeah, I'm
Just
just
to make.
yeah, yeah, sure. Vivek, or else I will share you the recording session, or else. Okay, try it now. You logged in with two users. One is like TextRed, other one is like Vivek. I made a TextLet as an organizer. Okay.
Hello, Jagdish.
Yeah, I made a TextLet as an organizer.
Yeah, but in my it is showing audio is not connected in my auto meeting.
Okay.
This okay. Just remove that
For
presenter.
I for Vivek, I'm not getting the option to make you as an organizer. So anyway, like after this session, I will share you
No,
via.
no, no, don't make Vivek as organizer. Text rate is okay, but that is connected on my laptop. But what I'm saying is, this is saying audio not connected on my laptop. So just to revert back whatever was previous. At least I can hear the voice. You can do the recording, right?
Yeah, I already started the recording.
Yeah, yeah. So then you can share me that one later,
Yeah, okay.
right? Just revert back what was earlier.
Not connected to the audio. That means it's not like problem with like you organizer that one. Like there is an audio symbol. You can make you as a,
Maybe I have to restart my system. Mm,
Okay, can you make me as a presenter? Like I think Control K
yeah.
to pixelate.
Presenter. Yes.
Okay. Okay, I will share you the recording then.
Y- Yeah, yeah. No, but I'm not able to hear the sound.
Mm, yeah, why? Because that is not connected to the audio. Your TextLate ID.
Now it's connecting.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hello?
You're getting some echo sound. Yeah. Now it is okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Fine. Okay. Okay. The diagram which you can see resembles the architecture of IBM BPM. So like in the heading, you can see like Teamwork 7 architecture, but from Teamwork 7 to till 8.5, the architecture remains same. But what are the internal functionalities are varying, but the architecture is same from Teamwork 7 to IBM BPM 8.5 standard edition. If it
Okay.
is an advanced edition, you will get one more box here, that is integration designer, which is connected to your process center. So the components which you see, these are all like belongs to architecture of IBM BPM, whether it is like 7 or IBM BPM 8.5. Okay. So in the center, you can see something called as process center. So process center is like heart of IBM BPM. For the heart of IBM BPM is process center. So in what is this not covered? No, for you, Vivek?
Yeah, yeah, it's not covered.
Yeah, fine. Okay. This process center. What is this process center actually? Let me show you the process center. See here, when I open my designer, okay, this is my
Mm.
process app. When I open my designer, here I can see option to select process center. Okay, when I click on here, this is my process center. In my process center, what I can see? I can see all the process apps. I can see all the process apps, okay, which are accessible for me. Okay, the process center. So what this process center contains? Repository. Repository means which maintains artifacts of like which maintains like all the process apps. So all the process apps, everything whatever you do in the process designer, everything will be stored in the repository. Here I can say like whatever process apps created, whatever the snapshots related to each and every process app, I can manage from process center. So everything I can see from here like process center. Okay. Next. Next, okay. From process center, I can connect to a process designer. From process center, when I open something like open in designer, I can connect to this open in designer. In Teamwork 7 architecture, in earlier Teamworks, when it is at Lombardi, this is called as authoring environment. This is called as authoring environment. But in our IBM BPM, no, this authoring environment got changed. IBM has renamed this to process designer. Now we should not call it as authoring environment. We should call it as process designer. Okay.
Yes.
So from the process center, when you click on open in designer, it is connected to the process designer. Yeah, this is your process designer. Okay. Once you connected to the process designer, then what happens? Once you connected to the process designer, okay. Next, you have done something. Once you connected to the process designer, you have done something. So like you want to like work on it in the sense you want to do some operations here. So how can you do? For example, I opened some process here. I opened some process here. Let me open like other process. Yeah. So what I'm doing is like I'm just clicking on this run button. Run process. What is this run process will do? This run process will run my BPD. This is my BPD, business process definition. You can compare the symbol here. This is my BPD. So when I click on run button, like it will try to run the process. Okay, if it try to run the process where it is executing actually, that means there should be a server there only. Like when I click on like run process, it should execute. So in which server it will execute? So the server which it will execute is this one process. The server which it will execute is process center server. Process center server is the place where whenever you run something in your process designer, whenever you do some sort of like unit testing, it will run in the process center server. Okay, it will run in the process center server. Okay, fine. Now, like it will run in the process center server. While running, what it is happening, it is trying to create an instance for a process. It is trying to create an instance, and it is trying to create some instance ID, some task IDs. So where all this information is stored for process center server, there is a DB associated in the internal structure of IBM BPM. That DB is called as BPM DB, or we call it as process DB, or some people will call them it as product DB. So process center server will have a particular DB. I will show you the DB as well.
Yeah.
Next one is, okay, repository, I already showed you, like it stores each and every related artifacts related information. Next one is performance data warehouse. What is this performance data warehouse? This performance data warehouse, what it will do means, when your process center server is executing something, when your process center server is executing your BPDs or services or whatever it may be, like performance data warehouse parallelly will track the data. Performance data warehouse parallelly, when it is executing, parallelly it will track. Parallelly it will track the data and generate the reports. Parallelly it will track the data and generate the reports. That is the purpose of performance data warehouse. That is the purpose of performance data warehouse. Next. So when I run some BPD or something, here how many activities I have, that many task IDs will be created. How many activities I have, that many task IDs will be created. See here, when I try to run this, what happens? A instance has been created for me and a task has been created for me. When I run this task, obviously one more task will be created. When I run this task, obviously one more task will be created. So what you can say, for each and every BPD, you are generating only one instance ID. For each and every BPD, you are generating only one instance ID. You are generating only one instance ID. Fine.
BPD
Next.
means step, right? Each step. Initialize that, supervise UI.
This is an
No?
activity.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is activity. So this whole is a BPD.
For a whole BPD, there will be, whenever you run a BPD, always an instance will be created. That is, only one instance will be created for one BPD. In short,
Okay. Yes.
okay. Like how many activities will be there? This is script. That's why it did not generate any task. This is some human task. Someone has to do the work. Okay. How many
Mm.
activities will be there? Those many tasks will be generated. Those many tasks will be generated. If I run this next, what are the other tasks? For example, the other task is manager is there. For manager, one more task will be created. For system task, of course, system will automatically execute, but one more task will be executed. So like task IDs will be generated with respect to this instance ID. Okay. As I said in the architecture, there is a DB associated with like process sender server. Okay. Whenever you click on here run button, where your application is going to run, where your BPD is going to run, your BPD is going to run in the process center server. Okay. What is the DB associated with that process center server? The DB associated with the process center server is BPM DB. So this is, we can say like BPM DB, or people will call it as process DB, or some people will call it as product DB. Okay, fine. So as our IBM BPM came from a product called as Lombardi, still some of the names you can see like with the name some Lombardi. So this product DB contains some LSW tables. These are very important actually. These tables contains all the information related to your process, whatever the process you run. So this is the DB associated with the process center server. For process center server, you are having this DB. Okay. LSW underscore BPD underscore instance. See here. So my instance ID is 2513. My instance ID is 2513. I am trying to check it in the database whether this 2513 has been created here or not. Okay, this is my internal table. Yeah, I can see here 2513 has entry has been there. That means what happens, you can say whenever you click on here like run button, whenever you click on here like run button, it try to make an entry in the LSW underscore BPD underscore instance table. After making an entry, after making an entry here, after making an entry in this table, so like that, what after the making an entry, it try to show the information in your inspector. This is like how it is generating. Okay.
Yes.
So if next time I run, no, it will give me 2514. If next time I run, it will give 2515. So how this query has been associated with is incrementing by one. But in the real time, not only you are running, multiple users are running, no, you can't see it in sequence generally. Very rare cases. When no one is running the application, only you are running the application, then you can see it is incrementing by sequence. But many people generally will run the application, not only you. Why? Because not only your project is going on, multiple projects are going on. You can't see. Always you can see some random number is generating, but always it is in like ascending order only. Next. Okay. Next, there are like many other tables are there. So whatever you run, whatever events you create, all the event related information you can see in this LSW underscore BPD underscore event. Similarly, task ID is also generated for you. There is a table called as C. For coach also there is one table. For deployment also another table. For connectors also another table. For whatever you it run in the process center server. For every information, each and everything will be stored in the this DB BPM DB or process DB. Next important table is like task table. Why? Because for us a task is also generated. Okay,
How do we
LSW.
come to know how the two tables are connected?
This two
Because each
how
table will
this
be connected to some other table, right?
this product is like how this there is no relation between these two tables. Whenever BPD has been created, like it is making an entry in the BPD underscore instance table. Whenever task has to be created, it is making an entry in the task table. See here, for task ID is the primary
Is
key.
the task, right? Task will have group ID, user ID, manager group ID. These are all from some other IDs, right? Some other table IDs, priority ID.
Yeah, for each and every, whenever you run something, see, when I try to open this, whenever I try,
What I'm asking is basically, do we have a place where we can see the interconnection between the these tables or some schema design in this tool itself?
yes,
Because they are related as a foreign key. They are related. I think these are the foreign keys, right? User ID, group ID, participant ID. Because they store the row ID of another table in them
yeah,
in that
see here.
column.
So by default, it is a tip snapshot. For by default, you will be having like snapshot name for each and every one. Like user ID means like for which user like you may logged in. Next group ID for what is the group he belongs. Participant ID. Yeah.
I
Yes.
think click on the
You're right.
click on the show related object.
Yeah, you're right. Like they might be
Show-
like a foreign key relationships are there.
There is show related object in there. Can you click on that? Show related object below. Second below down. Views tables. Third tab. Yeah. I
These
think
are the
this is
dependent
the
keys. Yeah.
mm,
Okay. Of course, it is having only one
first.
primary key. It has like
Ah,
multiple foreign
ah,
keys.
Yeah, it is saying the first level dependency. So only first level of connection will be there. Yeah. Mm, okay.
Next, our task ID generated is 2567. You can see the task ID here. Somewhere you can see the 2567. Yeah, here you can see 2567. 2167 it is,
Mhm.
not 25. We want 2567. Somewhere it will be there in this table, or else we have to write a query and we can get it.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, anyway, it's like if it exceeds, no, you have to write 2557 is.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Hmm. Okay, it will make an entry in this LSW underscore task table and it will try to retrieve. This is like how this will be generated.
Yes.
Okay, so when coming to the architecture, in the architecture, okay. So whenever like okay, process center server, as I said, okay, fine, a DB associated with this. Okay, this is the repository where all the it maintains all the process apps, each and every related information is stored in this repository. Fine. Next, there is also like one more server is there. This is one server, process center server. This is another server for your development box. It is connected to your development box. This is your process designer. Okay, what is the purpose of this process performance data warehouse server? The purpose of this performance data warehouse server is like it will parallelly like track the data when process center server is executing something. It will track the data and it will try to like generate the reports. It will track the data and it will try to like generate the reports. Okay, fine. So it is tracking the data and generating the reports. So for this, it is but you can't see it here. Okay, it is tracking the data and generating the reports. So how I can say like whether it has been tracked the data or generated the reports, like let me open like performance data warehouse server for you, the database for you. For that server also there is a database associated with that, that is PDW database. PDW means performance data warehouse. So here if I go down, these are like various default tables I can see here in this performance data warehouse database. Here also you can see like the task related information, and
So it will be same.
yeah, if there is like during like it when it is parallelly tracking the data, if there is like something error has been occurred, it will be stored in the LSW underscore data transfer errors. This is one of the important table
Mhm.
for administrator generally take care of this.
Okay.
Okay, so actually, like okay, it is tracking uh, for earlier. No, when we started working with the product, okay, we never look into this table. Why? Because these tables are not at all like our concern. The administrator is trying to look that, but later what we came to know, like don't know like why, like it is causing the performance issue, like why it is causing the performance issue, like so now we are running something. So is it really required for this simple process to generate the reports? Report generation is not at all required for me, but I am generating the report. So how it is generating? So if you go to your BPD, there is a tab called as tracking tab. In the track tab, there is already a auto tracking has been enabled by default. When you create a BPD, auto tracking will be enabled. See, for example, I am just taking a new BPD with name test.
Mhm.
Here auto tracking is enabled. Why auto tracking is enabled? Why? Because in the architecture of IBM BPM product itself, he has
Mhm.
combined, he has given like two types of servers. So he always want to track.
Yeah.
IBM want to always track by default. That's why they have provided auto tracking as enabled. But what is our concern is like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not doing any tracking here. Just I want to execute simple. What is the need of like tracking? Additionally, it is consuming much more time. So it is creating some
Yeah.
performance issue. So later what we did is like, later we removed this auto tracking. So
Oh, okay.
we like what our architects made like in the overview tab, this enable auto tracking, allow project path management, uncheck this, and this line is included in our coding guidelines. In our coding guidelines, best practices, they included that okay, we are as in our account we are not doing any part of tracking from now. Why? Because if anything report we want to generate, we can fire a query to the application database. By firing the query, we can show that information on the UI, but we are not going to like use this tracking feature. Why? Because it is creating some performance issues. So it is always a best practice to uncheck this. When we uncheck this, like when I click on this run button, when I click on, I have put some activity there. Okay, when I click on this run button, so in such case where our application will run, my application will run in the process center server. Okay, what my performance data warehouse will do? Auto tracking I disabled. So my performance data warehouse won't execute in such case. Next. So the DB associated is performance data warehouse. There is a DB associated with this server as well. So as it is the creating some issues like we are unchecking that auto tracking or we are disabling the auto tracking. So what happened like so whenever you click on here run button, no, your application will execute only in the process center server. So nothing is tracking. So it will complete in the expected time. So it won't create any like performance issue. Okay. This is about like process center server. This is about like process center.
Acha, Jagdish,
Yes.
so the BPM, one thing I understood in this is this is basically a transactional process. Maybe you are getting some input from somewhere and you're processing and you're giving an output,
Yes.
correct? So physically, but we don't store the data, the customer data. Let's say their customer, someone is working on the UI portal, okay,
Okay.
and in that you see some data in that UI.
Yeah. Right.
But that is not necessarily that is stored in the BPM database.
Yeah. See here. This is like a product related database. So all the
Hmm.
product related information like internal structure, everything will be stored. But when we are
Okay.
working in the like your organization, a other DB has been maintained. That is for your application purpose or business purpose. That we call it as
Hmm.
application database. So
Okay.
whatever your UI contains, whatever the data which from the customer you receive, everything will be stored in the application database. So your administrator or your BPM administrator will log on to the VAS console. He will create a JNDA connection. Why? Because the database is external to your BPM product. So he will
Yes.
create some key in order to connect that external database to your BPM. So while writing the queries, while using the connector, you will specify that key. So you can connect to that application database. So in that way they will do. But for our convenience, what I did is like in the internal DB itself, see here in my machine you can see apart from these tables, you can see many tables, retail DB, some test DB, some health
Yes.
DB. So these all databases myself created for carrying the application data. So in your mission also,
Okay.
like you can create these databases for carrying your application related information.
Okay. Right. 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 So in this, the data will be persistently stored, right?
Yes.
Like retail DB or health DB. Mhm. Okay. And one more question I have.
Yeah.
So when we run these BPM processes, correct? There could be like a process where it runs for two step, and then after two step it has to wait for 2 days or 3 days, and then it has again has to resume. So maybe like a long running process.
Okay.
So how do we manage that thing?
Like you want to like halt that process, or you want to like
It has to halt the process. For example, it's some activity creation, some banking process, and then we need to send escalation at after 2 days and 3 days, and
okay,
then the process should complete.
okay, okay, fine.
It should start and then it should pause for some time. Okay, we can say it's a wait time of 2 days, and then it should again resume and then end.
Okay, but in the process designer, no, like there will be an BPM administrator. He will take care of the services. Generally, whatever the service we build, no service will take like not more than like uh, generally every complex service will not take like much more than like 5 minutes of time. If administrator will keep on
Mhm.
watching the long running
Do
services
we
from
have a wait step in this? And we in the designer wait step,
we don't have like
timing step.
wait step actually here.
Mhm.
So administrator will always watching this. He will be having like something called as process admin console. He will be always keep on watching this process monitor. So like when not wait there is something called as postpone task. Some other things are there. So in this postpone task and all, when it is when to like postpone task, it won't be considered as a long running process. It will temporarily halt. Here people can see like administrator can see like how much time it is taking. It is taking
Mhm.
570 milliseconds, 4 seconds. Milliseconds,
Okay.
seconds, minutes, hours. From here he can see, okay, okay, this is taking like much more time. Or like from here he can see all the related information.
Mhm. Service and process, difference between service and process?
Yeah. So now what we did, we just run one process. Now we just run one process. This is like yearly, for example, this is your BPD or business process definition.
Yeah.
When you run this, what happens? Your process will be getting executed. Process is nothing but high level task. Okay. So backend of the process, you will be having a service. So like service is nothing but the default UI or whatever it might be. So service is nothing but a task that has to be performed by a human being, or it might be like system. So in the high level, we
Okay.
are treating that as a process. So if you are having like multiple activities here, all the multiple
Mm.
activities at the backend, they will be connected to some services, or they can be connected to some processes or whatever it might be. So process, you can
Mm.
say like complete overall process. Service means whatever the services which are executing backend of your particular activities.
Okay. So how I can see process, you have so many steps in the process, which we were seeing in that process admin console
Yeah, a
and
process might have
monitor.
like multiple
And
steps. Multiple steps in the sense
but
multiple
where
tasks, multiple activities.
the steps of the services? How can we see the steps of a service, human service?
See,
Can you
like,
go to the process monitor?
yeah, see here, I will show you that. So the where I got this is like customer request automation. So here this is create case. See here, this is my process.
Yes.
In this my process, this is an activity. Inside, if I go here, insert case data. Uh, okay. So I think that is not yet integrated. Yeah. If I go here like insert case data, here I can see internally this contains this many services. These are all nested
Okay.
services. So a process
Oh,
in that one activity, it contains like multiple services. Again, if you go inside
oh,
this, here you can see like a service. You can see
okay.
some servers.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, okay. This about like
In this designer, can we go back in the designer? How do we go back?
in this way you can
We
go.
keep on opening something.
You
This
can
one.
see like whatever the things you open, no, you can see here.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
From here you can go. What are the things you want?
One more thing. I think no, we cannot do that in this. Okay, leave it. Because I just wondering whether we can know this. This is this is standard use. Okay, leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's about all about your process center. Okay. Next one is like uh, authoring environment. What is this authoring environment? Like as I said, like this is the new name is process designer. In a way, like in future, like we are completely doing development in this box only. So we are like while doing the development, I will explain like what is the purpose of like each and every component in this IBM BPM like process designer. Next one is like process
Yeah.
center console. This process center console is like which manages your process center. So this is your process center. Who controls your process center is like process center console manage controls your process center. Okay. What is this process center console? So it looks like something related to your process center only actually. So if I open my process center console, see here, this is my process center actually. So my process center and this is my process center server. So you can see both will be looking like same only. But my process center has an option to connect to the designer. I can open it in designer and I can do the work in my process center. But in the process center console, I can't see open in designer. Okay, it is just for maintenance purpose or what you can say like you which controls your process center. Whenever you want to download that process designer, you can download it from here. Okay, next, that is one difference, that download option you can't find it here. Why? Because after downloading only you got this. Next, here you can see like open in designer, whereas in process center console you can't see that. Okay, what are the things you can do here? All the things you can similarly do it in the process designer as well. Process here, see here, when I click on here I can see like list of snapshots. Here also when I click on here I can see the list of snapshots. So only thing is like here you have a connection to connect to the process designer. Here you don't have the connection to connect to the process designer. Generally like your administrator like wants to work with something, like they want to like uh, do some work in the sense like they want to like take a snapshot from here, or they want to create some installation package during the deployments. They won't come to your process designer, they will take care of everything from the process center console. Suppose some user said like I don't have like access to particular application, it is showing like you don't have the access. Okay, they will provide the access from you like process center console. There are like much more features in the process center console. We are like started the discussion, like we will continue the discussion from Monday. Okay. So as of now, like what we can think is like process center console is nothing but which manages or controls our process center.
Yeah.
Next one, process admin console. Here, two admin consoles are combinedly shown. One is like process admin console, second one is like performance admin console. Process admin console, like whatever you think, like whatever it is running in the process center server, it is related to something what you can say like process center server, or it is related to might be process server as well. Like process admin console contains various options, like in the sense. As an administrator you can create some users, you can create some groups. As an administrator like you can do some sort of like deployments. As an administrator you can halt the long running services. As an administrator you can change the locale of your particular users or groups. As an administrator you can add some calendars. As an administrator you can change the like constants at runtime. So all these features it can be achieved via process admin console. We are also discussing this in coming sessions. Process admin console, like it is like a purpose of like platform support or BPM support team will take care of this. So they will do like all the admin related jobs from this process center admin console. So what we can say, like process admin console, something related to my process server, I can say something related to my process server. I am saying like something related to my process server, like performance admin console is related to like performance data warehouse. Like you are creating some tracking groups, you are creating some tracking fields. There is some LSW data transfer errors while tracking the information. All the related information you can see in this performance admin console. So what we can say, like process admin console is related to your process center server or process server, and performance admin console is related to your performance data warehouse server. Okay, so these two in the architecture, they are like connected to, like what you can say, they are connected to this box, but in process center also these are connected. Process center also these are connected, like whatever the things are happening here, like you can see all this from here. You are like as an administrator, you are managing from here. Okay, so this about like process admin console and performance admin console. Okay, next one is like process portal. Later I will come to this runtime box. Next one is process portal. Process portal is nothing but end user interface. End user don't know like what you develop in the designer mode. End user don't know like what is happening here in the consoles. So end user knows only like he will just quickly open whenever he comes to the office, like he is an employee, like he will just open the portal, he will check it in the inbox. If any task is there, he will click on that, he will run the task, he will fill that UI, what you will fill the details, and he will click on submit. That is the only thing like end user knows. So yeah, this process portal is nothing but end user interface where the end user can work on it or end user can communicate on this. So for end user interface, this process portal is designed. Next, these are called as runtime boxes. Okay, these are called as runtime boxes. Runtime boxes in the sense, runtime servers. Like whenever your application has been like development has been completed, what you will do? You will take a snapshot and you will ask your administrator to deploy the snapshot in some SID environment or UAT environment or prod environment. So these are those environments. Okay. For example, assume that this is some SIT environment. Okay. So in your snapshot, whenever like a request comes from the external system or something, where this will execute actually, where this will execute, like here it will execute in the process server. Process server is the place where your task will getting executed. Whenever your application is running in the test environment or prod environment, it will be executing in the process server. Fine. Next, like if any tracking has been enabled, if it want to like track something, it will track in the performance data warehouse. It will track in the performance. It will track the data like for tracking. There is a server associated with this performance data warehouse server. The related information will be stored in the performance data warehouse database. So here you are not developing anything. Here you are just deploying some snapshot. No need to store like all the artifacts or all the process app related information, everything. That's why you can't see here the repository box here. You can see only these two boxes, but the change is what the name got changed here. Instead of like process center server, you have like process server, and other server you have like performance data warehouse server. Okay, once after the staging has been completed or SIT has been completed, it will go to some UAT environment. Once this got completed, it can go to like prod environment. Administrator like can't maintain not only three, they want like if they want like to put like one more like other environment, they can create n number of environments.
We don't maintain repository in these environments.
Yeah, why? Because process server is having a database, performance data warehouse server is having a database. You don't have anything to work on it. Suppose you are developing something, you maintain repository in order to store all the artifact related information. It's already developed, it is deployed, it is running somewhere. So when it is running, like
Oh.
we are having databases associated with these servers. So all the running information will be stored there.
Mhm. Okay, okay.
Okay, this about like architecture, high level architecture of like IBM BPM. like 8.5 or 7 or whatever it might be. So like one more will be in the advanced edition, you can see one more integration designer that is connected to the process center. Okay, this about like architecture in going detail from like the next session. No, like we are going to like discuss about like one by one, like what is the purpose of process center console, what admin console or performance admin console will do, each and everything related like information we can discuss it tomorrow. This information like I have put it in like slides, but anyway like I'm this weekend, no, like I will try to create some like PPTs based on the sessions and I will share it to you. Got it? Vivek, any doubts?
No, no, no.
Yeah, fine. So like as per our course content, introduction is completed, history 2.0 and IBM architecture. Okay. Next, I also explained you one day like this one, no, how to create like a sample PPT and how it works. Vivek, creation of sample PPT and how I can run this. Like in the process designer, I have created small PPT.
Okay.
Okay, so we are discussing this process center console actually. Okay,
Okay.
fine. But like, if you have any doubts or related information, if you want to like discuss in some deep or what you want, like I can take up the session tomorrow, or else we can meet it on Monday or Sunday.
Yeah, better Sunday.
Yeah, we can meet on Sunday, like probably like Monday. I'm like actually like every week, no, we'll be having off on like Sunday. Sunday there won't be any session, but this time I will inform you whether I am taking it off on Monday or Sunday. Why? Because I am on vacation. If I am planning to go to somewhere on
Hmm.
Sundays, I will inform you via mail.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, you can just tell me and I can manage.
Yeah, yeah, but you like you now you both are in the sync. Like what are the things I have completed for you? Like the same thing I have completed for Vamsi as well. So Vamsi will he said like he will be off on these 3 days. Vamsi may join on like Sunday or Monday. So I will inform you like tomorrow there won't be any session. On Sunday or Monday I will take up the session for you both. We can continue this process center console.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Perfect.
Okay. Okay, Vivek, fine then. Like, I will share you this recording as well. Anyway, like, if you want, you can
Sure.
download it.
Yeah, you can share me on the Google Drive. I'll download it.
Yes, sure. Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, fine then. We'll meet in like the next session. I will inform you over the mail. Okay. Thank you.